Our movements are no longer unrecorded. Every interaction leaves a persistent digital footprint in the environments we inhabit. Professor Wandt came to explain how AI is changing investigations. Then the lecture revealed something stranger. AI was already helping shape the story. Welcome to Wandt, an AI-narrated technology video series where we unpack lectures, research, and ideas from Professor Adam Scott Wandt. This episode was assembled by artificial intelligence using source materials connected to the professor, including lectures, notes, research, recordings, and earlier works. It is designed as a cinematic overview of those materials, but the final presentation may not always fully reflect the professor's precise intent. These concepts originate at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, where the intersection of technology, policy, and law is under constant review. As this diagram illustrates, passive human existence is fading. Digital nodes, from smartwatches to smart cities, now connect to form a web around a subject, transforming daily life into an active, permanent record. From the second your alarm wakes you up to the moment you fall asleep, you are generating a stream of interaction records that detail your routines. Wearable biometrics, like the Oura Ring, log your physical states passively, tracking sleep patterns and stress indicators minute by minute to create a health profile. Urban mobility now acts as a mass data generator. Automated vehicles, like this Waymo scanning the street, continuously map their physical surroundings, recording data about the city and the pedestrians moving through it. This level of autonomy raises immediate liability questions. When a semi-autonomous system, like a Tesla navigating on algorithmic commands with hands off the wheel, makes an error, determining legal responsibility is a complex challenge. Municipal infrastructure tracks your movements. Transit taps log your entry, automated toll passes record routes, and payments leave a continuous trail. The result of these overlapping sensors is a persistent digital representation of your movements, making it increasingly difficult to remain entirely off the grid. The professor argues that because so many sensors are now active in public and private spaces, the likelihood of a major crime occurring without leaving a digital trace is becoming remarkably low. Historically, critical investigative data often existed, but forensic science lagged behind. Investigators lacked the specialized tools required to extract the evidence they already possessed. Take the Casey Anthony trial, shown here. Investigators had digital evidence that could have been pivotal, but it was missed because forensic protocols at the time were not yet developed to check alternative web browsers like Firefox. Today, suspects often inadvertently highlight their activities through device manipulation, such as turning off location services or Bluetooth during a specific window of time. These gaps in connectivity can establish behavioral intent. In the Moscow, Idaho investigation seen here, the deliberate absence of cell tower triangulation helped investigators pinpoint when a suspect attempted to avoid detection. The current bottleneck in law enforcement is no longer a lack of evidence. The challenge is having enough human investigators to sort through the terabytes of data generated by modern life. Artificial intelligence acts as a force multiplier in this area. By synthesizing these massive data hordes, AI systems can process the evidence far faster than any human team. Criminal organizations have adapted to this landscape, moving from simple opportunistic attacks toward targeted AI-powered cybercrimes. Threat actors are even physically manipulating digital evidence. Some are deploying 3D printed sixth fingers during robberies to mimic the specific flaws seen in AI-generated images, attempting to argue in court that security footage is a deepfake. The logistics of illicit trade are also moving away from traditional surveillance. Distributors now rely on QR codes sprayed in public spaces and encrypted networks like Telegram to manage transactions anonymously. Hardware itself is a target. Consumer devices can be intercepted through supply chain attacks, where they are embedded with zero-day vulnerabilities or even physical explosives long before they are sold. Meanwhile, the rapid generation of deepfakes and synthetic media makes verifying basic truth a significant hurdle for the public and the legal system alike. This technological race is symmetrical. The tools that enable rapid oversight and investigation also provide adversaries with new ways to hide and deceive. For organizations navigating this landscape, Identity and Access Management, or IAM, is the most critical priority for current IT auditing. Strict access segmentation helps mitigate both deliberate insider threats and simple human error. Employees should only be able to access the specific data required for their roles. This need for control has led to a debate over whether highly sensitive institutional data should be moved into third-party cloud infrastructure. However, professional security teams at massive cloud providers often have defensive capabilities that localized, underfunded IT departments cannot match. While external hacks make the news, the most significant vulnerability to institutional integrity remains the lack of internal access controls and a growing human skills gap. There is a major pivot in this presentation. The theoretical framework we have been discussing was not drafted by Professor Wandt. A large language model was prompted to predict and generate these presentation slides based strictly on an analysis of the professor's past work and research notes. The AI accurately identified specific investigative topics, building out modules on open-source intelligence and darknet research without direct human assistance. The logic is circular. As represented by this Enron headquarters logo, the foundational intelligence models capable of predicting these investigative trends were trained on massive datasets of historical corporate fraud, specifically the Enron email corpus. This automation is already occurring in the field. Several police departments are now testing AI models to draft probable cause statements directly from raw body cam footage. Artificial intelligence is now a participant in the process, one that synthesizes expert workflows and changes the basic mechanics of the profession. Current large language models are rudimentary precursors. They are the first steps toward impending general artificial intelligence. The catalyst that will multiply the power of these advanced systems is quantum computing. Consider this maze. A standard computer must navigate this network sequentially. It traces a single path at a time, hitting dead ends and backtracking to find the next route. Faster, more urgent tone. Quantum computing calculates all possible outcomes simultaneously. It floods every corridor at once, isolating the correct exit path in a fraction of a second, which would render our current encryption methods obsolete. The collision of general AI and quantum processing will change digital security protocols. Oversight bodies must begin preparing for this shift before the technology is fully deployed. Investigators must use AI tools with caution, establishing a clear line between cloud-based public models and secure local instances. Putting confidential investigative case data into unregulated public models exposes an organization to significant privacy and operational risks. It is essential to establish independent verification protocols. Every piece of evidence or analysis generated by an autonomous system must be checked by a human expert. AI will help solve the problem of data volume. However, strict human skepticism and rigorous oversight must remain the final safeguard against errors in the code. Artificial intelligence provides a new method for sorting through vast datasets, though its use requires strict access controls and human verification to maintain investigative integrity. Like, follow, and subscribe for more deep dives into emerging technology, digital investigations, and the ideas shaping our future. And remember, stay curious and want knowledge.